The Indians had always been a distinctly tiny minority in demographic terms, but played a disproportionately large role in Ugandan economic life. Looking at Forbes's list of the richest people in Uganda, most people will be surprised that a significant number of them are of Indian descent. However, you should not be surprised by this fact. Why did Indians dominate Uganda's economy? In this video, we will explore the historical background of Indian domination of Uganda's economy. Several of the country's most high-profile Indian-origin businessmen have allegedly financed Museveni's National Resistance Movement Party over the years. The extent of their funding of the party in the latest polls is unknown because of a lack of transparency in campaign finance. But according to Henry Muguzi, the head of the watchdog group Alliance for Election Campaign Finance Monitoring, Museveni received significant money from the Indian business community in these elections, supplementing money that he allegedly took directly from the national treasury. But this alliance between the president and the Indian business community isn't simply an ordinary collusion of money and power. It has its roots in history. In the early 20th century, when Uganda was a British territory, the colonialists brought in the first Indians, mostly Sikhs, as indentured laborers to build railways. Gujarati traders and entrepreneurs soon followed, looking for business opportunities. The British regarded Indians as more skilled than the native Africans, and so gave them intermediary jobs in the colonial administration. Over time, Indians came to dominate the country's economy, leading to resentment among the native population. After the country gained independence in 1962, the political control of Uganda shifted several times through the barrel of the gun. In 1971, the then Prime Minister, Milton Obote, was deposed by Idi Amin, who went on to rule the country for the next 8 years. In 1972, Amin branded the affluent Indian minority bloodsuckers and claimed they were exploiting the local economy and denying opportunities to indigenous Ugandans. He ordered the Indians to leave within 90 days. President Yoweri Museveni reversed the order when he took power in 1986, criticizing Amin's decision and crediting Gujaratis for having played a lead role in Uganda's economic development. Thousands of South Asians have since returned, often finding business success that has benefited the country while also fueling racial tensions and warnings of another explosion in waiting. The Indian community in Uganda has had a significant economic influence in the country. Despite making up less than 1% of the population, the Indian community is estimated to have contributed up to 65% of the country's total tax revenue. They have been involved in various sectors, such as the cotton industry, and have owned a large proportion of the country's businesses, contributing significantly to the economy. For example, Ugandan businessman Sudhir Ruparelia of Indian origin is the country's richest man, with a net worth of approximately $1.2 billion. The Indian community's economic impact has been substantial, with their involvement in businesses, farms, supermarkets, and other sectors playing a pivotal role in the country's economy. A scholar narrates how Indians controlled Uganda's economy in a book. The book, Uganda, an Indian Colony, 1897–1972, by Samwiri Luanga Lunyigo, provides a detailed account of how the Indian minority group exerted significant control over Uganda's economy during the colonial era. The book, released when Uganda commemorates 50 years since the expulsion of Indians, delves into the economic dynamics, exploitation, and controversial role played by this minority group. The book contends that despite being just 1% of Uganda's population, around 8 million people at the time, Indians controlled a staggering 75% of the country's economy. This economic dominance is portrayed as a form of subcolonialism, with the Indian community benefiting disproportionately from commercial activities. The author presents evidence indicating that despite their economic control, Indians paid only 5.4% in taxes. This suggests a significant disparity between their economic gains and the contributions to the national revenue. According to the book, Between 1955 and 1972, there was a substantial outflow of capital from Uganda, with an annual average of 12 million and a peak of 17.2 million in 1958. The book attributes this capital drain to the Indians, implying that they repatriated the majority of their profits. The book suggests that Indians were able to exploit economic opportunities with legal backing from the British colonial authorities. This support may have been a reward for the Indians' participation in conflicts alongside the British in the Middle East, Sudan, and Ethiopia. The Indians initially came to East Africa with the promise that the region would be their colony. When this promise was rejected, the British allegedly created a system that favored the Indians' associates, contributing to their economic advantage. The book credits British Governor Sir Andrew Cohen and President Idi Amin as figures who resisted Indian dominance. Amin took extreme measures by expelling the Indian community from Uganda. The book also explores the aftermath of the expulsion, including the matter of properties. While some Indians were expelled without compensation in Kenya and Tanzania, Uganda's government reportedly paid compensation. However, the return of Indians and their claims to properties are portrayed as controversial and sometimes fraudulent. By 1993, Indians had returned to Uganda and emerged as major contributors to the country's economy. Over the past 3 decades, they have become influential figures, with some reportedly pushing for recognition as a Ugandan tribe. The book aims to spark debate about the historical role of Indians in Uganda and the implications of their economic dominance and subsequent expulsion. The narrative raises questions about justice, reparations, and the impact of historical events on contemporary socio-economic dynamics in Uganda. The world is now a global village, with all nationalities playing their roles. Anyone who is permitted by the law of a country can do business and contribute to the economy of the country they trade in. It must also be noted that many of these Indians alleged to dominate Uganda's economy are also Ugandans, even though they are of Indian descent. Indigenous Ugandans, along with any other Ugandans or foreigners as per the law, have an equal opportunity to build wealth and contribute to the economy of Uganda. Shall we say that the wealthy Ugandans of Indian descent have an unfair advantage, or shall we say they know how to do business better? If you have watched up until this point, leave a comment and share your thoughts. And if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe and click on the like button if you have found the video informative.